Hi, I'm Layla. 2 years ago, I finally escaped an abusive marriage that nearly destroyed me. My ex-husband Marcus was the kind of guy who could charm anyone. Smooth talker, successful business owner, always knew exactly what to say. What people didn't see were the bruises I learned to hide. The way he'd twist every argument until I believed everything was my fault. Or how he controlled every dollar I spent. When I finally got the courage to leave him and file for divorce, I thought my family would support me. I thought they'd be proud of me for choosing myself for once. I was wrong. I was sitting in my small studio apartment, the only place I could afford after starting over, when my best friend Nina came by with coffee. She had this look on her face, the kind that said she knew something I didn't. "Layla, we need to talk," Nina said, setting down the cups with more force than necessary. "What's wrong?" I asked, my stomach already sinking. "I ran into your sister yesterday, at that new restaurant downtown." "Okay, so?" Nina's jaw tightened. "She was with Marcus, laughing, having drinks. I confronted her about it and she told me to mind my own business. Said you were lying about what happened in your marriage." I felt like I'd been punched. "She said what?" "There's more." Nina pulled out her phone, her hands shaking slightly. "I did some digging. Your mom's been posting on Facebook about how divorce is destroying families. Your brother commented that some women exaggerate to get sympathy. And your dad—" "Stop." I held up my hand, feeling nauseated. "My dad too?" "I saw him leaving Marcus's office building last week. I didn't think much of it then, but now—" I grabbed my phone and called my mom. She answered on the third ring, her voice cheerful. "Layla, how nice to hear from you." "Mom, I need to ask you something directly. Have you been talking to Marcus?" The pause told me everything. "Well, honey, he reached out. He's very concerned about you. He says you've been struggling with some mental health issues." "Mental health issues?" My voice cracked. "Mom, he put his hands on me, multiple times. I had to get a restraining order." "Now, Layla, Marcus explained all that. He said you two had arguments like any couple, but you've been exaggerating things. He's willing to help you get therapy." "Help me? Are you serious right now?" My mom sighed. "Your father and I are just trying to keep the family together. Marcus has been very generous. He helped your brother with his business loan, and he's offered to pay for your father's surgery." "He's paying you?" The words came out as a whisper. "He's buying you?" "Don't be dramatic. He's being supportive during a difficult time. Unlike you, who cut everyone off and—" I hung up. My hands were shaking so badly I nearly dropped the phone. Nina grabbed my shoulders. "Breathe. Just breathe." "They chose him," I said, tears streaming down my face. "They chose money over me." "Then we're going to make sure they regret it," Nina said fiercely. "But first, you need to tell me everything. Every detail about what he did, what he's doing now. We're going to document all of it." I nodded, wiping my eyes. "Where do we start?" "We start by finding out exactly how much money changed hands and getting proof." The next morning, I met with my divorce attorney, Patricia Chen. She was in her 50s, sharp-eyed, and had a reputation for winning cases nobody thought were winnable. "Layla, sit down," Patricia said, gesturing to the chair across from her desk. "Nina called me last night and gave me the broad strokes. Tell me everything." I explained the situation. The money, my family's sudden change in loyalty, their public statements undermining my abuse claims. Patricia's expression darkened. "This is witness tampering. If your family is receiving financial compensation in exchange for changing their testimony or making statements that contradict your abuse allegations, Marcus could face serious legal consequences." "Can we prove it?" "We'll need bank records, texts, anything showing money or promises of money changing hands." "Do you still have access to any family accounts?" "No, but my cousin Derek might help. He never liked Marcus, and he works at the bank my parents use." Patricia raised an eyebrow. "I can't advise you to do anything illegal." "I'm just going to talk to family," I said. "See what they know." I called Derek that afternoon. He answered immediately. "Layla, man, I've been wanting to call you, but your mom said you weren't taking calls from anyone." Derek, I need your help. Has my family been receiving money from Marcus? How did you... Yes. Your dad deposited $20,000 2 weeks ago. Your brother got 15. Your mom's been making cash deposits. Smaller amounts, but regular. I noticed because it's not normal for them. My heart pounded. Can you get me copies of those transactions? Dates, amounts, anything that shows the pattern? That's technically against policy, but your family, the real family. I'll get you what I need. Thank you. Thank you so much. Next, I reached out to Marcus's business partner, James. We'd been friendly before the divorce, and I knew he'd witnessed some of Marcus's behavior. We met at a coffee shop. James looked uncomfortable the moment he sat down. Layla, I'm sorry about what happened between you two. Are you really? I asked pointedly. Because I know Marcus has been spreading lies about me, and you haven't said anything to contradict him. James shifted in his seat. It's complicated. He's my business partner. It's not complicated. You saw the bruises. You heard him threaten me. You told me once you were worried about my safety. I did, but what? But it's easier to stay silent? But you don't want to lose your partnership? Tell me something, James. Has Marcus been unusually generous with company money lately? Helping out family members of yours, maybe? His face went pale. How did you know? Because that's what he does. He buys loyalty. I leaned forward. I need you to testify to what you saw. The verbal abuse, the threats, the control. Will you do that? If I do, I lose everything. The business, my reputation. If you don't, you're helping an abuser destroy his victim's support system. What kind of person does that make you? James was quiet for a long moment. Finally, he said, I'll think about it. That's all I can promise right now. That's more than I had yesterday, I replied. That evening, Nina and I sat in my apartment, surrounded by documents Derek had provided. This is damning, Nina said, holding up bank statements. 3 separate deposits to 3 different family members, all within 2 weeks of them making public statements supporting Marcus. We need more, I said. We need text messages, recorded conversations, evidence that this was explicitly quid pro quo. Nina grinned. Good thing your sister can't keep her mouth shut when she's had wine. Remember how she used to drunk text you? You're not suggesting. I'm suggesting we go to that wine bar she loves, accidentally, run into her, and see what she says. Record it. Washington is a one-party consent state. I smiled for the first time in days. You're devious. No, I'm your friend. There's a difference. The wine bar plan worked better than expected. My sister Vanessa had 3 glasses of Pinot Grigio and started talking. Look, Layla, she said, her words slightly slurred. Marcus is helping us. Dad needs that surgery, and insurance won't cover it all. What was I supposed to do? Tell the truth about what he did to me? Your truth. Marcus has a different version, and honestly, his makes more sense. You always were dramatic. I kept my recorder running in my pocket. So he paid you to say I was lying? He didn't pay me to say anything. He gave Dad money for the surgery, and I'm grateful. That's all. How much did you get, Vanessa? Her eyes narrowed. That's none of your business. 10,000? 15? What's the going rate for betraying your sister? She stood up, wobbling slightly. You know what? I'm done. Marcus was right about you. You're bitter and vindictive. Maybe he did get rough with you, but you probably provoked him. There it is, I said quietly. You just admitted you believe he hurt me, but you're still taking his money. Vanessa's face flushed. I have everything I need, I said, standing. See you in court. The real confrontation happened 3 days later, at a family dinner I wasn't invited to but showed up for anyway. Patricia had advised against it, but I needed them to hear this from me. I walked into my parents' house without knocking. Everyone was there. Mom, Dad, Vanessa, my brother Kyle, and Marcus, sitting at the head of the table like he belonged there. Layla? My mom stood up, her face shocked. What are you doing here? I came to have a conversation with my family. Or should I say, Marcus's new family. Marcus smiled, that calm, controlled smile I used to fear. Layla, you're always welcome here. We've been worried about you. Shut up, I said flatly. You don't get to talk. Any of you know that witness tampering is a federal crime? My dad set down his fork. Nobody's tampering with anything. Really, Dad? So the $20,000 Marcus gave you for your surgery wasn't contingent on you making statements that I'm an unreliable witness? The $15,000 Kyle got for his business loan? That was just generosity? Kyle's face went red. That's a personal loan. With what interest rate? What repayment terms? Or is it more of a gift in exchange for your loyalty? You need to leave, Vanessa said, her voice shaking. I have bank records, I continued. Text messages. A recording of Vanessa admitting she knows Marcus hurt me but doesn't care because of the money. I have testimony from his business partner about his violent temper. I have medical records from 3 different hospital visits. And I have a really good lawyer who's filing charges tomorrow. Marcus's smile vanished. You're bluffing. Try me. You bought my family, but you can't buy the justice system. Well, you can try, but witness tampering tends to backfire spectacularly. I helped your family when they needed it, Marcus said, his voice taking on that edge I remembered. I'm the victim here. You left me, humiliated me publicly with lies. Stop, I said. Just stop. Every person in this room knows exactly what you did. They just decided money was more important than me. My mother's voice was pleading. Layla, please. Can't we work this out? Marcus has apologized. Apologized? I laughed bitterly. He's never apologized for anything in his life. He apologizes for how I perceived things, for arguments that got out of hand. Never for breaking 2 of my ribs. Never for the black eye I told everyone came from a car door. Never for isolating me from every friend I had until Nina was all I had left. That's not fair, Marcus said, standing up, his hands clenched into fists. I gave you everything. A home, money, status. You gave me trauma and scars. Keep your money, keep the family you bought. But you're going to face actual consequences for once. Marcus stepped toward me, and I saw my father tense, finally recognizing the threat. You think you can threaten me? You think anyone will believe you over me? I think the police will be very interested in your recent financial transactions. I think the judge handling our divorce will want to know about your intimidation tactics. And I think threatening me right now in front of witnesses while you're already under a restraining order? That's going to cost you. Marcus grabbed my arm and I didn't pull away. I looked at him steadily. Let go. Or what? His grip tightened. You'll run to your lawyer? File another fake report? My dad finally moved. Marcus, that's enough. But Marcus didn't let go until my brother stood up and said, Dude, seriously, let her go. The moment his hand released me, I headed for the door. You just assaulted me in front of 4 witnesses. Thanks for making my case even stronger. Patricia filed multiple charges the next morning. Witness tampering, violation of the restraining order, assault. The bank records, recordings, and witness statements, including a surprising one from James, who decided his conscience mattered more than his partnership, built an airtight case. The preliminary hearing happened 3 weeks later. I sat in the courtroom with Nina beside me, watching Marcus in his expensive suit try to charm the judge. It didn't work. Mr. Harrison, Judge Wheeler said, looking over her glasses at him. The evidence shows a clear pattern of financial coercion directed at the plaintiff's family members, made in conjunction with their subsequent statements undermining her credibility. This court takes witness tampering extremely seriously. Marcus's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client was simply helping his former in-laws during difficult times. By giving them money contingent on their making statements beneficial to his legal position? Counselor, that's textbook witness tampering. She turned back to Marcus. You're also charged with violating a restraining order and assault. The evidence, including multiple witness statements from your own former in-laws, supports these charges. My mother had the decency to look ashamed from where she sat in the gallery. My father wouldn't meet my eyes. The judge continued. I'm setting bail at $100,000 and ordering you to have no contact with the plaintiff or her family. Your trial date is set for 8 weeks from now. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor, Marcus said, his jaw tight. As we left the courthouse, Marcus's lawyer tried to approach me. Miss Morrison, my client would like to discuss a settlement. He's prepared to offer— No, I said simply. No settlement. No plea deal that doesn't include jail time. We're going to trial. But surely we can reach an arrangement that benefits everyone. Patricia stepped between us. My client said no. That means no. Please respect that and do not attempt to contact her again. 2 days later, my mom called. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Layla, honey, I'm so sorry. I didn't understand. You understood perfectly, I said. You chose money. We thought we were helping. Marcus said you were sick, that you needed support, and we believed him. But at the hearing him lie to the judge, seeing what he did to you in our own home, I'm so sorry. Are you sorry you did it or sorry you got caught? Silence. That's what I thought. Mom, I can't have people in my life who can be bought, who value money over my safety. I love you, but I can't trust you. That's not something an apology fixes. Please, Layla, we're family. Family doesn't sell out family. Nina's my family now. Patricia, who fought for me without asking for anything in return. Derek, who risked his job to help me. Those are my people. So that's it? You're cutting us off forever? I'm protecting myself. That's what I should have done years ago. Goodbye, Mom. I hung up and blocked the number. The trial took 3 days. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Marcus was convicted on all charges: witness tampering, assault, and violation of a restraining order. He got 18 months in prison, 5 years probation, and a permanent restraining order. After the verdict, I stood outside the courthouse with Nina and Patricia. How do you feel? Nina asked. Free, I said. For the first time in years, I feel free. He can't hurt me anymore. He can't manipulate anyone else into hurting me. It's over. Patricia squeezed my shoulder. You were incredibly brave. A lot of women wouldn't have fought this hard. I didn't have a choice. I either fought or I let him win. Let him convince everyone I was crazy, that I deserved it. I took a deep breath. I refused to be his victim anymore. 3 months later, I started a support group for survivors of domestic abuse whose families didn't believe them. It meets twice a month, and it's growing. We share stories, resources, legal advice. We remind each other that we're not alone, that our experiences are valid, that choosing ourselves isn't selfish. Marcus tried to contact me twice from prison, letters I never opened, just forwarded to my lawyer as evidence of continued restraining order violations. He got additional charges added. My family tried to reach out a few more times. Vanessa sent a long apology text. My dad left voicemails. Kyle showed up at my apartment once wanting to explain. I didn't engage with any of it. Some betrayals are too deep to come back from. I'm building a new life now. New family, new purpose, new strength. Marcus thought he could buy my silence and my isolation. Instead, he gave me proof of exactly who he was, and I used it to make sure he couldn't hurt anyone else. Sometimes justice takes time. Sometimes you have to fight harder than seems fair. But it's worth it. Every single day of freedom is worth it. What would you do if your own family betrayed you for money? How would you rebuild? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. And if this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more true stories about finding strength in the darkest moments. Remember, you're never as alone as you think you are.